Yo, 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 what's going on? I'm on GT.
And I'm Jordan,
We are the Black Book
Black
Keepers.
Bookkeepers.
You already know. Well, we read books and apply them to our lives and provide you with valuable information for your life. Okay. Today, we have a very, very, very important book right now. It's on the scene. It's been getting a lot of noise. It's been getting a lot of good reviews. It's called Limitless by Jim Quick. I enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the book. I enjoy him. I kind of met him on YouTube or, heard of him on YouTube.
hmm
And he was going over, how we really don't get taught how to learn specifically. So I took interest in it and I enjoyed, everything he was saying on YouTube. And when he came out with a book, I thought it was a perfect opportunity to add to my collection. So I do like the book, but I'm curious to see how you feeling about it. I'm curious to see your thoughts. What about you? How did you feel about it?
I think he had some good points that can be used in everyday life and things to take away from it. But in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't my favorite book. So,
Okay, all right. Well, let's get into that. Okay.
yeah.
Um. So basically, for all of you who never read the book is basically teaching us on how to learn. In school we really taught memorization skills. We taught to remember things. By repeating them over and over again. But he goes into different ways to remember. He goes into how to effectively unlock your brain and get it and boost it to its highest performance. Um, it was a couple things that really stuck out with me. Like, for example, he said a lot of the times he used a lot of acronyms, and one of the acronyms that he used was the lies we believe, and he break lies down as limited ideas entertained. I enjoy that. I enjoy that because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, or right now in society, a lot of people are limited in how they think and how they use their mindset. Especially now during the pandemic, a lot of people are just getting by. A lot of people not really tapping into their brain and using it, making life easier for them. So, like, do you feel like people are using their brain to the highest performance?
Um, I go back and forth on this. He actually talked about it in the book. So movies like Limitless and Lucy talk
Yeah.
about how we only use 10% of our brain. But in the book, he actually says debunked it, and that's not true because when we breathe and walking, basically saying the things that we don't think about are the other 90%.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I really do feel like there's untapped potential that we have, regardless of what these scientists say. I truly believe like the otherworldly things that we feel are impossible in just in movies. I think that a human would be able to do these things if their brain was being utilized to its full potential. I might sound crazy to some scientists, but I don't know. That's just me. Like I'm a true believer of anything is possible. So that's how I'm feeling about it. Do you think people have unlocked their brains? You think this is actually the 100%? How are you feeling on that subject?
I feel like when they did come up with that, they didn't look at the whole brain as well because the brain, different parts of the brain is responsible for different things. So if you only using a small percent of your brain, if you only using 10% of your brain, how would you be able to function in different regions? Like, so I definitely believe that, we definitely use more than 10%, but I do believe that just in general, a lot of people limit themselves. I feel like self limitation is like maybe the biggest reason on why people don't go out and accomplish their dreams, why people are just getting by and not getting ahead, on why people are not able to create the life that they really want to live. I feel like, at the end of the day, the people don't train their brain. After people get out of school, either high school or college, people stop learning. People don't do anything to further. A lot of people just go to straight to work and it's just over with, And the way the world moving right now, you cannot afford to just be in the past. You can't afford to be left behind. You got to know what's going on, so you can know how to move, how to navigate. Even if you don't want to be a part of the society, you should know what's going on, so you're able to navigate through society. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, I want to talk about this because this stood out to me. We talk about what stands out to us here. He said one of the reasons why it's a limit in your motivation. He said You lack the drive, purpose, or energy to take action. You lack the drive, the purpose, or the energy to take action. Do you agree with that?
It is just one of those, or you have to have all three of those?
Just one. Either or. You're lacking one of those things on why you not taking action.
I can definitely see that. I feel like the thing that's gonna drive you the most to get like a huge goal, life goal, is gonna be purpose at the end of the day. Because energy comes and goes. Like you'll be motivated when you wake up, and then by 6 p.m. you just want to chill. So that's not gonna work. And then drive is kind of the same thing. It's kind of like motivation. Like it as you progress in your journey, motivation kind of dwindles, and so does drive. So I think the only thing truly that's gonna keep you steadily going is purpose. Like I truly believe there's a reason for me to be on this path, and so I'm gonna push through it, persevere through it, and get it done. So that makes sense.
It does. I love that. I love that because it's not one thing on earth that I can think of that when I have a goal in mind, if I don't have one of those three, I won't get it done.
Yeah, yeah.
You need drive. You need the energy, and you need a purpose and the reason behind it.
Mm.
So, question to you: do you have whys, or do you have a effective, like? Have you written down and tapped into your whys and really dived into your purpose?
I actually don't write down my why. It's crazy enough. I write down all of my goals, but I don't write down why I want it. But I kind of just have it in my head why I want to keep going. Sometimes it is hard when you hit those bumps in the road to remember that, but I think that having that as a deeper meaning and reasoning to go, you're always gonna circle back to it, and it's always gonna push you eventually back to where you need to go. Do you feel the same? Do you feel like you have a deeper purpose, or is it just I'm taking it every step, every day,
Oh
pushing to my
no,
goal?
I definitely feel like I have a purpose of being here. And when I tap into my why, it's like why I want all my goals, they keep me on task. I always do that. Like, why do I want to, when I set a goal, why do I want to accomplish a goal? What makes this important? And that's what gets me up on the days that I do not feel like it, or I've been
Mm,
up a little bit too late the previous night. It's hard, like things like that can happen. It's hard to adhere to waking up early. It's hard to getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's hard to if
mm,
you not, but what is my why? If I
yeah.
don't wake up, I'm losing out on all the hours I have before work, all the hours I can really take advantage of in order to, free me from what I do now in longevity portion. So
Yes.
I definitely think that whys are important, and I love that he touched on that. Um, I also want to get into memory. I want to get into memory because he had this cool little list that he wanted us to memorize.
Go ahead and talk about that. I have my
Okay,
opinions on it.
so um, visual memory, right? Visual memory. So that's what he tapped into. And he gave us a list. And, in the first beginning, he said, this is 10 words, memorize them. And the way I memorize them is I just repeated them, repeated them, repeated them, repeated them.
Mhm,
And then later on in the story, he gave a story. He gave a story with all the words on there. So
mhm.
um, he gave you a little story, and it painted a picture in your head. So he asked you again to read it back. And I remember them all. I
Yes, I did
remember
too.
them all. It was crazy. I still remember the story.
Do you really?
Yeah, yeah. I can say
I
right
don't.
now, the red fire hydrant, balloons, batteries,
Oh yeah,
barrel
yeah.
board,
Oh
diamond,
wow.
knife,
Night.
uh, diamond, not the night, the toothbrush, and the sun.
Oh man, no, you're better than me. I don't
Yeah.
remember all that.
Yeah. I think I might have ox. Ox was right after the night, then the toothbrush and the sign. So, but it was because of the story. It was because of
Yeah,
how he visually pictured. So,
yeah.
is that something that you knew before this book? And if not, is this something that you feel like you will engrave in the rest of your life for your memory?
So I've heard of this trick for memory through just like different shows that I watch.
Mhm.
like talent shows. Like somebody will be on there with super memory, and then he'll explain like how he did it. And the reason why I'm gonna say I'm never gonna use this tactic. Don't get me wrong. This tactic works if you're
Mhm.
willing to do it, but I'm not willing to create a story every time I want to remember something. I just feel like that just takes a lot of effort, and I may be lazy because of that, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, maybe if you practice and practice, it'll just become natural. But for someone who's just starting out, it's going to be very difficult to create a story every time they want to remember something. So I cannot see myself doing that unless it's absolutely like necessary. Do you
Right.
think you're gonna do the stories?
I think I want to practice. Like, it honestly made me want to practice lists. Like, after I was done with it, I told my girlfriend, just write write a list of 10, write a list of 10, and kind of
Oh
create my own
yeah,
story
yeah.
just to see. But what I like about it is just the fact that I didn't know it existed. I didn't know. I didn't have the option. When I first had to read the list of 10 different words, random words, I tried rote memorization. I tried to repeat it, and it failed. And it failed. But the fact that he uses basically his senses to really tap in and try to show you, like, hey, school taught you this way, but you have this way and this way. I like that. I like the fact that you have options, especially when you were only taught one way.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of made me look at school, no disrespect to any teacher, but it kind of made me look at school like school does not and it cannot possibly prepare human beings for this world out here. It doesn't even tap into fully what the mind can do. It's a lot of rote memorization, garbage that's repeatedly fed to us, and then we just regurgitate the information. We're not really learning. We're not really using our brain. So I'm kind of open my eyes to things.
Yeah.
I'm interested in trying it out though. I'm interested. I want to be able to kind of like go in the room, have people read names and memorize that.
Yeah, yeah. That's just a lot of effort. You really gotta want to do that.
Right,
So
right. You're right. You're right.
yeah,
You need to try out the purpose or the energy.
yeah.
You need to try out the purpose or the energy.
But let's circle back to school though, because he actually has a quote in there that I highlighted, and he said, "Don't let school get in the way of your education." Yeah, I wrote that
I
down
love
real
that.
quick because I'm huge on that. Coming from someone who was in school and didn't feel like they were going to use their degree either. I wanted actually my engineering degree to be a backup plan. I wanted to figure it out on my own. I wanted to do business. I wanted to do stuff like that because I truly believe school does not prepare you for being basically, I guess, an individual, making money on your own,
Yeah.
thinking on your own. Really, you're just basically told what to do, what to say, what to think. It's all there for you. It's already written, and it's been years and years and years ago. If you find a student from 10 years ago, I bet y'all learn the same exact thing, and that's an issue. If someone from 10 years ago is learning what you're learning, that tells you right there it's not setting you up for growth, in my opinion.
I
So
agree with that. I,
yeah, do you
I,
feel that way about school?
100%, 100%. Because being a reader, and when you are an avid reader, you learn so much stuff in books, and you just like it really makes the stuff that you read, like, or stuff that you learned in school, look like a waste of time. Like, sometimes I feel like I wasted all my time, or I could have been learning so much more valuable,
Yeah.
important information that's now
Mm-hmm.
like they don't teach anybody how to balance correctly. They don't teach anybody really about investments, and even though they may have a class or two on the subject, they don't teach. It's really just regurgitated information, or information is like sometimes I honestly feel like it's a distraction, because why are so many of us, okay, they tell us at 18 we're done, go out into the world, but we are so underprepared. We are so underprepared. I know certain people right now got in a world full of debt. Certain people now, who have degrees, or set up with degrees and working in the same place with somebody who don't need a degree to work at.
Mm-hmm.
Or we just was forced to, yeah, school and education, but education and learning is it's two different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So the things saying when people would say like, "Why are we learning this in math? We're never going to use it." Coming from an engineer, we don't use it. So like, For real.
I always joke. I always say, I know the Pythagorean theorem: a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I have not used that in
Me
27 years of
neither.
living.
Me
I have
neither.
never used that. It's never been a value. The volumes of senators, and then and this isn't a bad school, but this is just our opinion from our perspective. Like, one thing I don't like is, if I want to be a doctor, the moment I enter school, you should teach me anything about being a doctor. If I want to be an accountant,
Yeah.
you should teach me
Yes.
from day one to the day I graduate. I should be taught nothing but accounting. But the fact that we forced to pay these different things, and even can't have a college. And I remember going back and forth with the counselor. I'm like, why do I have to take this underclassmen? It was like a required thing to teach me about
Yeah.
Kent. Why
Yeah.
do I have to pay for this? This has nothing to do with what I want to
Yeah.
do.
I
So
agree. I think most people learn hands-on anyway. So
yeah,
just I think just the school system is just needed of an upgrade, because most people don't learn from a textbook, reading, and tests. People are gonna learn, like you said, a doctor is gonna learn through hands-on. And I mean, maybe you can't just be surgically doing people in school,
right.
but I don't know. Do
Still
like now
learn
we
the
got,
information.
yeah, now we have what is it called? Virtual reality and all that stuff. Like, that's what's gonna have people learning. If you want to be a
Mm-hmm.
doctor, like you said, year one, virtual reality classes on how you do this, how you do that. People are gonna be way more prepared. But yeah,
It
the
just doesn't
Pythagorean
prepare
theorem.
you. It just, it takes me because it's burnt into my head. It's integrated into my head. I remember doing problems on it, but has it helped me in life? Like, does school really help you in life?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we can talk about it. We can talk about
go into it deep.
it.
So let me ask you. So you said this wasn't your favorite. So I want to get into, it was something that stood out to me. I don't know if
Okay,
we agree, but I want to have you first.
probably.
Like, what didn't you like about the book, or what wasn't your favorite part?
I'm gonna honestly say I feel like he was like repeating himself. Is that what you? Yeah, he was repeating himself, and I got to a point. I think it was like chapter 12, 13, or 14, one of those, and I just was like, okay, I'm skimming because, and I skimmed, and then when I came across something that caught my eye, I would pay more detail to it. But yeah, I had to stop reading so in depth through the beginning because he was saying the same stuff.
Right, right. I agree. It kind of sounds like one YouTube video to me. And my thing is this, what I like about certain people, or what attracts me about certain people, let's say maybe I meet them through media and then they release a book. If you give me so much free content and it's valuable information, I don't mind supporting you, because I feel like once I put my money towards something, it's gonna have even more. It's like I'm getting deeper into the story with you. But I do feel like, if you just listen to a couple of his YouTube videos, you will receive the same information.
Yeah.
You will have received the same information, really the same list. He goes over a list, he goes over certain principles. And it's kind of like, okay, well, I could have just watched YouTube, and I don't like that fact. I don't like that
Yeah.
fact at all. I love reading just as an exercise for my brain, but I don't like reading when I feel like, it's something that I didn't really learn anything
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. The thing about books is authors kind of have to usually get a word count in. So there'll be a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fillers. Take me to chapter one.
Take me to chapter one. Give me the meat. Give me the core. Don't even chapter one. Don't even oversell it. Don't oversell it. Just
Yeah.
give me valuable information, and then I'm gonna rock with you. So,
Right.
question: would you purchase a Jim Quick book in the future?
um, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah,
I agree
maybe.
though. He's definitely a key leader in his field. I definitely see he's a key leader in his field. But again, when I invest into you, when I got you for free and then now I invest into you, I really want you to give me something for my money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I listened to his some of his talks and stuff as well. I think another reason why I like his talks though is he can grab your attention. So
yeah,
a book is easy. I feel like it's easier to grab someone's attention when you're speaking to them if you know how to do it. But through a book, like your words need to be interesting enough to keep someone's attention. So I don't
Also,
know.
and it kind of seemed like that too. And it kind of seemed like maybe this was catered to people who didn't watch his YouTube. You know, maybe this was
Maybe
catered
so,
to people
yeah.
who just want to unlock their mind and not really familiar with him or his work
Hmm.
on YouTube, or just people in a library or a bookstore. Like,
Yeah.
okay, because if you have not watched him prior to this book, you're gonna learn a lot of information.
Yeah,
But
I
if
agree.
you watch his content beforehand, it's gonna be it's a lot of repeated information.
Yeah.
So overall, what do you really rate this book?
What do I rate it? Oh man. I'm gonna have to give it a low one because man, I just got at the end, I was struggling. 6. 6.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was about a 7 out of 10.
Okay. That's not
7 out of 10.
bad.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
I'm gonna say it. So it's a lot of valuable information in here, but he lost some points for having repeated information from his YouTube work.
Yeah.
So again, another book down. Hopefully, you guys have learned and took something with this. If you are inspired to read, please leave a comment below. Let me know how you like it. And if you have read it before, let me know. Do you feel like our comments was fair? Comment below and let us know. I'm GT,
And I'm Jordan.
and we are the Black Bookkeepers.